It's on a Monday in the middle of the pandemic. Although, this shit here, people are ignoring it now. You see what's going on in California and Michigan?
No.
People are just saying, nah, fuck it. We don't care anymore. And then cops are running around trying to arrest them, and then there's just too many damn people. People said, fuck it.
I saw one guy get arrested on here at the, you know that Disney park that's like on an island, but it was like abandoned? Mm-hmm. Some guy was trying to camp out on there.
Yeah. This is all going as Nostradamus has foreseen. I've told you that this would happen. You can moralize it and say it's right or wrong. It still doesn't matter. These people do what they want to do. They don't care what you think. And it will continue to be this way. What do you think, Jenny?
Yeah, probably.
That's yeah.
Well, people are the worst.
People just do what the fuck they want to do. Doesn't matter who they are. The people at the top do what they want to do. The people at the bottom do what they want to do. People in the middle do what they want to do. Everybody does whatever the fuck they want to do. It's contrary to what they're trying to convince you. Everybody does whatever the fuck they want to do. So what's up, Jenny? What do you got? What do we got?
Well, gosh, not a lot. Just like I said, I've been working on game shit today, website. Been working on my book a little bit. I watched something that they newly added on Shudder last night. If you're into slasher movies and shit like that, they just added a documentary about Kane Hodder.
Yeah.
Who, if you didn't know who that is, he's the guy that played Jason Voorhees in 7, 8, 9, and maybe 10. So 4 Friday the 13th movies. He was also in the Hatchet movies. He's been in shit tons of other horror movies.
Kind of like stuff. The best Jason.
Well,
he was the biggest, most kind of intimidating Jason.
Because I feel like, Jason didn't really get played by the same actor that many times.
And if you look at Jason from part 2, he's not even a big guy.
Yeah.
He jumps on one. There's one scene where he comes through the window and jumps on one dude. The dude he jumps on is a lot bigger than him.
Yeah. Although, he's crazy and he has a bag on his head. So I don't really know.
Doesn't work that way. Doesn't actually work that way, though. But no, it was an interesting documentary.
It really was.
About him getting burned up and then him trying to bring that character to life and a lot of, and how he did a good job. And he also was in a bunch of other movies. Some of them we haven't seen. We got to see them.
I haven't seen any of the Hatchet movies. There's 3 of those fucking movies now.
He also played BTK.
Yeah, see, that was another thing. He's played a serial killer a couple of times, but he was in the movie that about BTK, or one of the movies about BTK. I'm sure there's more than one.
Motherfucking had sexual problems.
Yeah.
I got some sexual problems, I bind, torture, and kill. It's the X Factor.
Yeah.
Yeah, the fucker's a douche.
He's cubing. He really is, man. But so it's really good if you're really into slasher movies and you're interested in Kane Hodder and stuff. I don't think it's not quite as good as the Tom Savini one. And one thing that I will complain about is that the background music during some of the interviews was loud, and it was almost drowning out the.
That might have been my sound system.
Maybe it was.
I have a bunch of settings for different settings.
Maybe that's what it was.
It could be on
the mix. Because I'm sitting there going, what the fuck?
Yeah, there might be. It might have been optimized for a different mix.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
But yeah, I didn't know all that shit about fucking Kane Hodder getting mostly fucking almost burned to death when he was 22. And he's just he set himself on fire.
Yeah.
Because he was a stuntman, And he was doing it for a newspaper story, and then he's like, whoops, I did it wrong.
Yeah, he tells stories about what he did when he was a kid.
Yeah, it's it's really interesting.
He was constantly getting his ass beat, and how he became, he's talking about, bullying and everything, and they were beating his ass, and he was a kid, and he wasn't fighting back, and when he wouldn't fight back, they kept escalating it.
They just beat
until
his ass
eventually he started swinging back, and even though he still got his ass kicked, eventually they stopped trying to beat him up because they realized it wasn't worth it.
Yeah.
Because he would fight back. It just goes back to what I was what I've said many times before during the show. You can't give anything for free. Pacifism and being weak is a poor life choice. Because many people on this planet, especially young boys, are dog-like creatures. They're pack animals. And what are we doing, kid? And they got these weird-ass hormones, and they do weird shit. When they see weakness, they're like dogs. They run after it. If you run from a dog, the dog will chase you. Young boys are like that. If you look scared, they'll attack.
Yeah.
They're not known for their intelligence, They're dumb.
Yeah.
They're dumb, and they have just weird hormones in them that do that. So weakness is a poor life option. Somebody attacks, fight back. Just go down fighting.
It's really weird because I didn't realize that Kane Hodder was that. I mean, he was unrecognizable, like from when he was a kid. I mean, when he was a kid, he was like really small and like thin, and even up until he was like in high school and shit, he was like just this like real tall, skinny kind of dude. And I wouldn't have guessed that was the same guy, because now he's like all fucking bulked out and.
In my experience, a lot of
scary.
those guys that fucking grew to be huge and were real aggressive got that way to defend themselves from fucking bullies.
Yeah, well, you can understand that.
That's how you become that
Although
way.
everybody says, like, from the cons and everything like that he's, like, the nicest dude ever.
Yeah.
And they even fucking, it was funny because they had Bruce Campbell. They had other people on there, like Robert Englund and stuff like that, like, talking about him. But they had Bruce Campbell on there, and he said the funniest shit ever. He said, something that I've learned, he's, like, hanging out with Kane Hodder and the other people, like, at the cons and everything. He's like, I've met people that played heroes, and I met people that played villains, and he's like, for some reason, the people that play heroes are all assholes,
yeah.
and the people that play villains are always really nice guys.
One of the biggest kids we had in high school, he was a big, fearsome motherfucker. This was back when I was in Trenton High in Michigan. His name was Arif, and he was a hockey fucking star. I mean, this dude is good enough. He was like going to be a pro hockey player. I don't know if he ever got that way. He was probably the biggest, strongest kid in the high school, but he was also the most friendly. He was a nice guy, and if he ever saw assholes picking on like somebody was totally defenseless, he defended that person.
That's good. That's what.
Yeah, a lot of them are like that. You know what I mean?
Well, because they don't have anything to prove to anybody.
Right. It's usually like the betas that are doing a lot of the attacking, like the betas of the fucking tough guys. You know
yeah, like I said, because they have something to prove to
yeah,
somebody.
they're trying to compete with the guys that are tougher than them, and they really can't do it, so they just end up being dicks.
Yeah.
It's never the fucking real jocks that were doing a lot of the shit. It was like the betas of the jocks.
Yeah.
They were doing that shit. Like me and Steve, we weren't jocks. We were fucking drama club. We call us drama club fags. All right? But fucking we hung out with the real jocks. The real jocks liked us.
Yeah, some of them weren't so bad.
Well, they liked weed and they liked girls. They were, you know what I mean? And
we have that in common.
They had their shit. No, they had their shit and we had our shit. You know what I'm talking?
Yeah.
You know? They did do douchey shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But we did cool shit and they kind of knew it. But there was like a little bit of interplay. But on that side of the fence over there, this is old subcultures. But on that side of the fence, it was like their betas.
Yeah.
That were the fucking...
The second tier.
The second and third
jocks.
Tier dudes. The ones that were the fuck ups.
That weren't quite as popular.
Right.
Not quite as
kind of like those guys from that Heathers movie we saw the other day.
I was just going to mention that because that was the other thing that I watched, like, after I was watching the Kane Hodder thing. And then I was like, oh, I remembered about Joe Bob having his weekly show now. So, like, he does one every Friday, and it's just one movie, and he'll, like, talk about it in between and stuff. And one of the ones that he did, like, recently was Heathers. And I've seen that movie a million times, but I was like, man, fuck it. I was kind of inebriated, and I was like, I just really like that movie, and I want to hear Joe Bob talk about it. So I got to watch it again. I probably have that fucking movie memorized, to be honest with you. Yeah. But yeah, it's like... It's funny to me, I guess, I didn't realize until Joe Bob said this, that when the movie came out, it was in 89 or 1990, because I know it was like right when I was about to graduate high school. And he said it didn't really do very well at the box office, which I thought was very weird because, I mean, me and all my friends, we thought it was a fucking riot. We just thought it was hilarious. We saw it in the theaters. We quoted at each other. We saw it like a million times. And it's like, it's just funny the way, I don't know. I guess dark comedy is kind of a hard sell.
Yeah.
And, that movie it's essentially a comedy about teen suicide and murder. You know what I mean?
Well, I remember seeing it and kind of liking it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I liked it. Excuse me. I only saw it in VHS. I didn't see it in the theater. And I liked it, but I wasn't crazy over it.
Yeah.
I did like Winona Ryder and Christian Slater in it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I thought those were cool characters. But that was about the extent of it. I thought the rest of the movie, when I was a kid,
yeah,
I thought the rest of the movie was kind of like, you know, not as good as, say, Beverly Hills Cop or or Terminator or Predator. You know what I mean? It's when you're a teenager, you're more into that.
Yeah.
You know, action.
Well, yeah.
Action type movies. Although I did like it, I just didn't love it.
Yeah.
Evidently, teenagers didn't like it, according to the people who made the movie.
Except for me and like everyone I knew.
Yeah.
We loved it. But like I said, it's a hard sell making a comedy about topics like that. And it's pretty dark. I mean, especially for back then. I mean, you could probably get away with it now, but back then I don't know if you'd have been able to.
I think a lot of the movies that you and your friends liked were fucking movies like Pretty in Pink and stuff like that. They were those were kind of like the high school chick flicks.
Yeah, although
the guys didn't like those that much.
Yeah.
I mean, we saw them and went, yeah, okay. But then immediately went on to something else. We liked escapist stuff.
Yeah. Well, I like that stuff too.
We liked it. We didn't want
to
talk
Like I said,
about,
I like all kind of different things.
Yeah. We liked escapist movies. We didn't want movies about high school that much. Although, one we did like, though, and I remember we talked about it, was Breakfast Club.
Yeah.
We liked Breakfast Club.
Yeah, I really like that movie, too. Well, all the character interactions are really, really good in that.
Yeah, we thought it was good back then. If you probably saw it now, it probably was kind of bullshit.
You know what, though? Because I saw it probably maybe a year and a half ago, and I thought it still held up really well.
Right.
I mean, I thought.
I haven't seen it forever.
I mean, some of the John Hughes ones, not so much. And I did watch Ferris Bueller's Day Off not too long ago, and that was, like, still pretty funny and, like, pretty charming and stuff. But, yeah, I think Heather's holds up really well, and it was kind of, like, ahead of its time, because after that they did all the shit with, like, Mean Girls and all those kind of movies and shit like that, which I don't think they would have done had Heather's not come out prior to that and kind of busted the wall open. And
there was a lot of them that came out before that. We used to see them all the time on HBO and stuff. Then we'd just see them and they were just so cheesy. I don't know what they're like now, but it's like stuff like Legend of Billie Jean.
Yeah.
Remember that fucking movie?
That was really cheesy.
I remember that shit being cheesy even for back then.
It was.
But I liked it.
I did too.
I liked it, but I knew it was cheesy. But how old were we? Like 12?
Probably.
Right,
yeah, when the fuck did that come out? 83 maybe?
Something. I remember that. I think that played right around, like, alongside fucking Flash Gordon. I loved Flash Gordon.
Yeah.
Fucking loved it.
But I remember really I remember, like you said, I liked Legend of Billie Jean, but at the time it was even back then I was like cringing at some of it.
Yeah, you cringed at some of that shit. And then they had like rip-offs of that. What was the one where we did a thing of the two dudes from Israel came down here to make teen movies? And they didn't knew nothing about American teens, so they just kind of pulled it out their ass, and
God damn
all the girls were getting abortions and hanging out in malls and shit. They played that bitch. Remember that one?
What the fuck?
We saw a whole like documentary.
You're not talking about Fast Times at Ridgemont High, are you?
No, after. It was supposed to be a rip-off of Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
Well, shit, now I'm just having a brain fart.
And it was by that studios that did that just fucking rip-offs like Battle Beyond the Stars and shit. It was those guys. It was two Israeli guys.
Shit, man. No,
came down here.
I can't think of it.
Just came in here to set up a studio real quick.
There were so many teen sex comedies.
It was basically what it was. Teen sex comedy, but these guys didn't know anything about American culture, American teens, and it was like something from another fucking universe. It was what they thought American teens were like.
Now I'm intrigued.
Yeah, I gotta remember the name of it. Somebody out there might remember which one I'm talking about.
I have to say though, one of the best teen movies that I think is like really underrated and it doesn't get talked about a lot is Better Off Dead.
Yeah.
With John Cusack.
The one that I'm talking about actually has the dude from Color Out of Space out of it, Mandy. What's his name?
Nicolas Cage.
It's got Nicolas Cage in it.
Does it?
Nicolas Cage.
It's not Valley Girl. You haven't seen that.
No, I don't. Yeah, I saw it. I'm talking about it. I fucking saw it. And he was probably like about 17 or 18. Like a 17 or... I think it might have been Nicolas Cage's first movie.
But Valley Girl wasn't cheesy, though. I mean, it was cheesy, but not... It was good, though.
What studio did that? You remember?
No, I don't remember.
Okay.
I haven't seen it in a long time, but it had a kick-ass soundtrack, man. It had Psychedelic Furs and Modern English and Sparks and all that kind of shit on it.
That might be it. No.
Really? No, I was like... That
did anybody get an abortion in that one?
No, I'm pretty sure.
Okay, then it's not that one.
I don't remember anybody
This one
getting
had
an
a.
abortion.
This one.
The only abortion one I can think of is Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
It was a ripoff of Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
How many fucking teen sex comedies had abortions in them?
They show her going to the clinic and shit, putting her fucking feet up on the damn stirrups and shit. She was crying and shit. I remember it.
I don't know.
I remember.
I'm not saying you're lying. I'm not saying. I just can't think of it right now.
I think no. Was it? It may have been fucking Nicolas Cage was in the movie. Might have been somebody like Scott Baio.
Yeah, because I was like, I didn't remember Nicolas Cage.
Might have been Scott Baio. I had to fucking think. It's some crazy shit like that, man.
He was in. Wasn't he in that movie? Was it called Zapped or something? It was like a.
This was like movie. 1982 that I'm talking about.
God,
maybe 83, but 82, 83, around that time.
That's like this.
We're trying to figure this shit out on live. Not really live, but on YouTube.
Almost live, because I put these up only like an
Somebody
hour
out there
after
might know what it is that I'm talking about.
Now I have to look it up, because now I'm sitting there going, it sounds kind of familiar,
and
but then not really.
The studio was notorious for like doing fucking just terrible fucking ripoffs.
Okay, well I'm gonna look it up.
They ended up going broke eventually.
After we stopped.
They're only in business for about 10 years.
But anyway, I was gonna say, if you're into like 80s comedies and
two brothers, I think there were two brothers from Israel.
Okay.
Moved to LA or moved to Hollywood and set that studio up. They made probably about 20 or 30 movies, and that was it. And they were science fiction movies, teenage movies, fucking action movies. Man, if I saw the logo, I could pick it out of a crowd.
It's not Golan Globus, was it?
No. No, shit was bad. It was like I know it wasn't the people that did like Death Wish 4 or 5, but it was like that kind. They'd be like the kind of people that would do Death Wish 5,
like Canon or something.
like worse.
Yeah.
Might have been Canon. No, Canon I think did some good ones too, didn't it?
Yeah. A lot of their stuff was like shitty, like cheap, but some of their shit.
Maybe it was Canon.
Yeah.
Might have been Canon.
Because they did end up going bankrupt later on, as far as I can recall.
It could have been Canon.
But yeah, seriously, if you like 80s teen comedies and you haven't seen Better Off Dead with John Cusack, you need to see that shit. Because that's a really, really good one. It's not like zany. It's weird. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's it's got like a fucking hamburger that comes to life and like sings Van Halen songs, and it's like, it's fucking hilarious.
I don't know what to say about that, Jen.
The same guy also made One Crazy Summer, which is also good, although I didn't like it as much as Better Off Dead. Okay, so you ready to?
Yeah.
I have to go see what that movie is now, because
I'm trying to figure it out.
Now I have no fucking idea what you're talking about, and I'm just sitting
I have to be reminded of it.
Okay.
It might have been a Canon film.
I mean, I'm sure I've seen it, because I saw pretty much everything back then.
It had a cute cast, but the fucking story was fucking nuts.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now I'm curious. All right, I gotta go look that shit up.
All right.
All right, you guys have a good rest of your Monday, and we'll talk to you again tomorrow.